subject name is concrete technology. So I think you have heard this particular term, concrete, right? So concrete is a major ingredient, right? Major material in the construction. Okay, everywhere. Without concrete material, you cannot use this, but you cannot construct any structure, right? So this is one of the major material in the construction, right? So this major material, so how it is behaving, how we can use, what are the properties, so we have to know that, right? So whenever you are going to do one activity, so you are going to know about that activity, right, before going to start that activity, or else before going to use any particular gadget or else any instrument. What we are going to do, we are going to know about that particular gadget. Suppose if you are going to buy a mobile phone, so what we are going to search, we are going to search about the specs, right, specifications. What is the RAM? Okay, what is the OS we are using in the particular mobile? Okay, what is the storage capacity, and what is the camera resolution? So we are going to know about that particular mobile, what is the brand, right? So like that, whatever the activity, it is not about only mobile. If you buy a laptop, or else if you are going to a movie, or else if you are going to one of the destination places, tourist destination places, so we are going to know about the particular tourist place, what are the things we have there, and what are the facilities we have, and how we can go there, right? What are the transport facilities? So like that, here, whenever you want to use this particular concrete in the construction, we need to know about that concrete material, right? So without knowing, you cannot use, because we have to know the properties, how it is going to behave after using that in a construction. So that is why we are going to learn about the concrete in a course, that is nothing but your concrete technology. So here we are going to learn about the concrete, how we can use, what are the properties, where we can use the particular concrete. Okay, so now coming to the overview. So here, this particular concrete is a versatile construction material. That means after, see, in the globally, the most used material is water. Okay, so most consumed material is water, right? So this water, after this water, concrete is the major material where we are going to use globally. Okay, just a minute, no? Yeah, so globally, after water, concrete is the major material we are going to consume, or else we are going to use. Okay, so that is why we need to concentrate more on this particular concrete. Okay, so it is a very versatile construction material. That means we have a lot of benefits with this concrete. Okay, so now this particular study of concrete is going to give the fundamental properties, okay, the knowledge on fundamental properties of fresh concrete. So after, but in this particular course, we are going to study about the concrete, right? So in that concrete, what we are going to focus mainly means the fundamental properties of fresh concrete. That means if you observe the concrete after mixing, when it is in, when it is with water, okay, it will be in a fresh state, right? So that properties, okay, when you add water in the raw materials, okay, we will be learning about some properties. Okay, those are called as fresh properties. Okay, and next, hardened concrete. So here you can see hardened concrete. Hardened concrete is nothing but after adding water, after some time, that concrete is going to become hard, right? It is going to gain some strength. So after getting into hardened state, what are the properties we are going to check? Okay, that we are going to look into in the subject. Okay, and next one, strength. Okay, strength of concrete and durability of concrete. So how much strength it is going to bear? Okay, that is what we are going to learn. Okay, what is the different type, what are the different types of strengths we have, and in which property, in which strength the concrete is strong. Okay, that properties, strength properties, we are going to study in this subject. And next, durability of concrete. So here durability is nothing but the lifetime of concrete material. how many days or else how many years it is going to survive, it is going to give service to the users. Because suppose if you construct any home or else any building, so how many years we can use that particular building, that depends upon the concrete material only, right? So if the concrete is strong, then we can get more life. Suppose if the concrete is very very weak, then the service time, the service life of the concrete may be somewhat less compared to other. Whenever you are going to construct any material, so there we have to check the service life also. Okay, without expecting the service life, okay, without expecting the service life, we cannot construct any other structures. Suppose if you take any electronic gadget, suppose if you take a refrigerator, so before buying you are going to check the validity, or sorry, guarantee or else warranty, right? So how many years it is going to give its service without getting any income, without causing any inconvenience to the user. So like that, for normal temporary gadgets only we are checking the lifetime, how many years it is going to give service. So this is one of the, I mean, construction is one of the major field where we are going to live our entire life. So we need to take care of these particular structures before construction itself. Okay, so after construction anyway we are going to maintain that structure, but before construction also we have to make sure of a lot of things. Okay, we cannot go blindly, we cannot take the materials blindly. Okay, without checking the properties, without checking the performance of those materials. Okay, and without checking the service life, right? So that is why whenever you are going to prepare a concrete material, so we need to check the properties of the concrete, okay, and the service life of the concrete also, right? So that is what your durability. So here the term durability represents the service life. That means without causing any inconvenience or else without failures. Sometimes if you get small damages also, minor damages also, we can use that particular structure. So here, suppose if that particular structure has stopped functioning, that means it has collapsed completely. So if any structure is collapsed, then we cannot use, right? We cannot accommodate anything over there, right? So that is what your failure structure. So if any structure is not offering any function or else any usage, then that is called as a failure structure, right? So that is not having any durability. So whenever you are going to construct a structure, we need to check the durability of the structure also, right? So that is what we are going to learn in this subject. And next one, it is also provides, that means this concrete technology. So this concrete technology is going to provide the theoretical and practical aspects of the subject. It means before applying the particular concrete in practically in the live situation, the construction, before that we need to know about this particular concrete properties theoretically, right? So in this particular subject we are going to discuss about the theoretical part also. Okay, after learning about the theoretical part, how it is going to behave, okay, we are going to discuss about that, right? So whatever the topics are, else whatever the properties we are going to discuss, that will be discussed in a practical way also, by conducting some experiments. Suppose if I am talking about the strength of the concrete, so I am going to learn about theoretical, like some so and so concrete is going to get so and so strength after using this particular material, or else after changing the proportions of the different material, right? So how I can fulfill that particular strength, how I can relate that particular strength practically, by conducting tests, right? So about that test also we are going to learn in the subject, how we are going to conduct that particular test on the concrete, and what are the dimensions of the concrete specimen. Okay, so that practical aspects also we are going to discuss in the subjects. Okay, so theoretical knowledge, we are going to get the theoretical knowledge as well as practical knowledge also. Okay, along with this subject we have concrete technology lab also. So whatever we are learning, some testing methods in the concrete theory, that will be conducted in the lab also. Okay, and along with this particular theoretical and practical knowledge of the materials, here we are going to learn about the latest developments in the field of concrete construction. That means, see, due to this particular industry needs, due to the generation changes or else environment changes and particular people needs, depending upon the requirements of different environment conditions. So here we are changing the composition of concrete. We are developing the concrete material to get our own requirements. So initially in the earlier days, we have used only normal concrete. Okay, whatever the concrete we have used, that is normal concrete, and it is having some normal strength, not high strength. But due to the present scenario, recent developments, what we are doing, we are increasing the strength of the concrete, which is normal, which is ordinary concrete. So we are increasing the strength by adding some extra materials. Okay, by adding some extra materials or else by adding some extra chemicals. Okay, we are increasing the strength of normal concrete. Okay, that concrete is called as high strength concrete. Okay. So like that, latest, depending upon the latest requirements of the industries and or else of the users, okay, or else due to the environment changes, we have to use different materials and we have to produce different concretes, right? So we are going to learn about the different types of developments which are developed in this particular concrete technology. Okay, so are you able to follow this, everyone?
Sir.
Yes, ma'am. So if you get any confusion or else any flaw, just inform me once. Okay, so that I will start. Yes, ma'am. Sorry. So this is about the concrete technology, theoretical and practical aspects. And next, here in this particular subject, we are going to learn about the latest Indian standard specifications. So just terms are very, very important in this particular subject. Okay, so whatever the terms I am using, just remember those terms. Okay, so here I am using the term latest Indian standard specifications and code of practice. That means, see, whenever you want to construct a building by using a concrete or else any other material. So in concrete, we are going to use different materials again, right? Cement, aggregates, water, right? So before using these materials in the construction, we will be having standard specifications. That means, suppose if you take an example of cement. So what is the color of cement? What is the strength of the cement? We have to maintain. Okay. What is the soundness of cement? How much water we have to add to prepare a cement paste or else to prepare a concrete? How much quantity of aggregates we have to use? How much quantity of cement we have to use while preparing the concrete? Okay, how much amount of water we have to use? Okay, we cannot add blindly, right? So there should be some specification. Suppose if you take um, in your way, like if suppose if you are cooking any recipe, so there we are not going to add the ingredients directly, right? Without knowing the ingredient quantity. Suppose if you are going to add oil or else any ginger paste, so there we are going to maintain some quantity. Okay, so here also, while preparing the concrete or else while constructing any member, any structure, so we need to follow some specifications. Okay, that specifications are mentioned in the codes of practice. Okay, this is one of the reference book we have, that is Indian Standard Code Book. Okay, we are going to call it as IS. Okay, we are going to call it as IS Code Book. Okay, so in this IS code books, they are going to mention the specifications to be followed. Okay, after doing number of trials. Okay, so that specifications are finalized by doing number of trials. That means by taking 1 gram, 100 grams of cement, they have added some X percentage of water. So after mixing that X percentage of water, it is going to give some consistency, right? So if that consistency is good, then they will finalize the particular water content. So like that, they have added different percentages of water and they have finalized one X percentage of water. Okay, so like that, for every material, for every method, they have conducted, they have finalized one specification. Okay, if you take this specification, the properties of the cement will be good. Okay, like that they are going to mention. So those specifications will be followed from the IS code books. Okay, we cannot take blindly whatever the quantities we are going to take, whatever the methods we are going to follow. So we are not going to follow that blindly. So every method will be having one procedure, and that procedures will be mentioned in the IS code book. Okay, so in this IS code book they are going to mention. Okay, yeah, yeah. And next one. So here, the properties of the concrete and its constituent materials. So normally in concrete, we will be using different materials, right? I think you have already observed in the live construction areas, right? So we are going to use a sand, that is called as fine aggregate, and next cement, okay, and water. So before using, or else before preparing this concrete, we need to know about the individual material properties also. Okay, so suppose if you are going to prepare one concrete, okay, so if you want high strength concrete, so before preparing that concrete, we are going to use different materials like cement and aggregates, right, like sand and stones. So what is the strength of cement, or else how it is going to behave before using in the concrete? So we need to know about the cement properties separately, and we need to know about the strength of the aggregates also. Okay, and we need to know about the properties of the concrete also. So after knowing these individual materials only, we are going to use these three materials in the concrete. Otherwise you cannot use, because you don't know what happens if you use cement, and you don't know what happens if you use aggregates, and you don't know what happens if you use more amount of water, right? Suppose if you know the properties and strength properties of these particular three ingredients, or else whatever the ingredients you are going to use in the concrete preparation, okay, then we can expect some particular strength for concrete. We can expect some properties of the concrete, right? So that is why we need to know about the properties of constituent materials also. Okay, and next, role of various admixtures. So here I will discuss very short in short about these admixtures, because we are going to learn about this term in the next coming chapters, okay, in detail. Yeah, admixtures are nothing but these are the extra materials we are going to add in the concrete for improving the performance of normal concrete. Okay, see, normal in the normal concrete we are not going to use any other extra materials other than cement, aggregate, and water. But this admixture is one of the extra materials which are used to improve the properties of concrete. Suppose if you get normal strength, no, so by adding this admixture, we can increase the strength to the high strength concrete, or else you can increase the any other property, hardness, or else durability. So admixture is nothing but it is a extra material, extra chemicals, or else minerals we are going to add in the concrete, okay, to produce high performance concrete, or else any other special concretes. Okay, yeah, so this is about your course overview. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, and next in this course again we are going to discuss about the mixed design procedure. So mixed design procedure is nothing but, see, so this term is very very important, no? Mixed design. So mixed design is nothing but, see, when you want to produce 1 kg of concrete, okay, suppose I am going to produce some amount of quantity of concrete, right? So in that concrete preparation, how much amount of aggregates I have to take, how much amount of cement, how much quantity of cement I can take, how much amount of water I can take. Okay, how we can finalize that? Okay, we cannot use blind numbers, right? Okay, we cannot use random numbers over there. So we need to fix some values. So, right, so to calculate that particular quantities, we have one method. Okay, that method is called as mixed design. Okay, so to fix or else to finalize the quantities of individual materials. Okay, so suppose if you want to produce 1 kg of concrete, 1 liter of concrete, Then I have to use 200 grams of cement, 400 grams of fine aggregate, and 200 grams of coarse aggregate, and 100 ml of water, right? So these quantities, these numbers will be finalized after doing this mixed design calculation only. You cannot add random numbers while preparing the concrete. Okay, so this is what your mixed design for producing economical and durable concrete. Suppose if you use 100 grams of cement, how the strength will be affected? Okay, and what is the cost of the concrete? So the cost and the durability of the particular material is also observed while preparing this concrete. So this is about mixed design. Okay, and next in this particular subject, it is also going to enable the students to acquire the knowledge on special and new generation concretes. That means the concrete which is having special properties. That means high strength or else self-compacted. Okay, like this we will be having different different extra properties, right? So about those special concretes also we are going to learn, like polymer concretes, okay, composite concrete. Like this we will be having different types of concretes. Okay, so this is too early to discuss about these topics, so but I am just giving brief idea. Okay, and these are the course outcomes. That means after learning this particular subject you can do some activities, right? So see, so these are the course outcomes, like after learning the subject you can recall the basic physical and chemical properties of construction materials. Okay, after learning this particular concrete technology subject you can recall the physical and chemical properties of construction materials, not only concrete. Okay, so in this particular subject, we are going to discuss about the cement, aggregates, concrete, polymers, and other special materials also. So after learning this subject, you can recall the basic physical and chemical properties of the construction materials. So why we are going to recall those properties means for determining the quality of concrete. Suppose if you want to highlight any property, so why we are going to highlight the property? Because to know the quality of the concrete, suppose if the strength of the concrete is very less, so why we are pointing out the particular strength? So why you are telling that the strength of the concrete is very less means to identify or else to point out about the quality of the concrete. You want to tell about the quality of the concrete. So that is why if the strength is good, then the quality is good. If the strength is low, then the quality is not good. Okay, that is what I want to convey, right? Suppose if you are going to take a mobile phone, so you may tell that the outer material of the cell phone is very bad. That means what you want to find out, what you want to convey. You want to convey that the quality of the mobile phone, the quality of the casing is not good. Okay, you may tell that the casing is very thin or else very soft. So why you are pointing out that property, that thin property? Thinning is nothing but property, right? Or else it is very light, you are telling. So what is that? That is one of the properties. So why you want to convey that property means you want to highlight the property of the overall mobile phone. Okay, if the casing is bad, then you can tell that the mobile phone is also bad in terms of casing, in terms of protection, right? So here also, after learning the subject, you can point out, you can highlight the quality of the concrete by recalling the different properties of different materials. Okay, and next one, we can identify or else you can identify the soundness of aggregate based on their characteristics. Okay, that means here you are going to recall the properties, right? So properties or else characteristics are both are same. So here, after recalling these properties, what you are going to do means you are going to identify the soundness. Soundness is nothing but it represents the quality. Okay, if the aggregates are good, having good quality, that means it is having high strength and it is not having any expansion. Suppose if you take any cement material, so after adding water, this cement or aggregate sometimes it is going to expand. So here I am just for your convenience I am telling that soundness in terms of expansion. Okay, so don't confirm, I mean don't confirm this particular definition in expansion only. So I am just telling for your convenience. Okay, soundness is nothing but overall definition will be like it represents the quality. Okay, it represents the quality of the materials. If any material is having good quality, then we can call it as a sound material. Okay, suppose if you take any person, suppose let me take an example of one student. Okay, so one student is having good knowledge in concrete technology, or else is having good knowledge on Python programming. So I will tell you, sometimes I will use one word. What is that? This so and so X person is having sound knowledge on Python programming. That means, what do you mean by sound knowledge here? It is having a grip, overall grip on the particular subject. That means he know everything. If you won't consider everything, then he is no. I mean, he knows maximum content about the particular program, or else about the particular course. So there we are using sound knowledge. So here also soundness is used. But if any material is having good properties, or else ideal properties, it is having high strength, it is having high hardness, it is going to bear high loads, it is having low water absorption, then we can call it as a sound material, right? So after learning the subject, you can identify the soundness of the aggregate based on their characteristics, based upon their properties, for deciding their suitability in the construction. Okay, so why you are going to highlight this soundness means whether the particular material is useful or not in particular activity. Okay, in particular activity, if you want, if the strength of the concrete is, if the strength of the aggregate is very very less, so I cannot use the particular aggregate in particular function, or else to construct one member, right? Depending upon your particular property, we are going to use that particular material in the construction. Suppose if you take any two persons, suppose one person is very active and very talented in the sports, and one person is very very high, I mean he's having very high knowledge in the subject. Okay, so one person is having and one person is very very active and he is having more skills in the sports, and one person is having more knowledge in the subject. So if you take this particular skilled person who is having high skills in the subject, and you are taking this person to the sports, and you are taking this person to the some quiz competitions or else technical competition, what is going to happen? He is very weak. So the person who is having high skills in the sports, he cannot perform in the technical rounds, right? In the theoretical subjects. Okay, we cannot say he cannot perform, but some people may having that particular way of scenario, right? So one person is having high skills in the sports and he may not have the high skills in the subject. So if you take this particular high skilled sports person to the quiz competitions or else any seminars, then he cannot perform, right? And if you take this particular skilled person who is having more knowledge in the subject and he is not having more skills in the sports, if you take this particular person to the sports, what is going to do? He cannot perform because he is not having any skills in the sports. So like that, depending upon the material property, if any material is having good properties according to the requirement of the structure, we have to use that particular material in that particular activity only. We cannot use in a weaker section. Okay, suppose if if you take aggregate, after applying the load it is breaking completely, so you cannot use that particular aggregate in the construction, right? So that is what I want to convey from this particular second outcome. Okay, and next one, explain the workability and factors influencing the workability of fresh concrete. So here workability is nothing but ease of mixing. After adding the cement, fine aggregate, coarse aggregate and water, we are going to mix it, right? So while mixing that ingredients with water, you may face some difficulties. That difficulty will be mentioned in terms of aggregate, sorry, workability. Okay, we will discuss about this term in the later classes. Okay, don't worry about this term. Okay, that means the, I mean I will give you like outline. about workability. Workability is nothing but ease of mixing. While mixing any concrete material, how much force we are applying for mixing it, or else what are the different factors affecting that mixing. Okay, that ease of mixing is nothing but workability. Okay, we have a lot of different definitions also. If I tell the definition, you may confuse. Okay, I will not discuss about that. Okay, yeah. And next, fourth outcome is you can explain the steps involved in the manufacturing of concrete. So after learning this course, you can explain the different steps for manufacturing of concrete. Okay, if you want to produce any concrete, so there we are going to use different steps, right? By using different steps, we are going to manufacture, right? So what are those steps? What are the steps we can follow? Okay, that we are going to learn. Okay, and next one, we are going to inspect the impact of water cement ratio. So water cement ratio is nothing but how much amount of water you are going to add, how much amount of water we are going to add in particular cement concrete. So that is very very important. Okay, the in the concrete production, the major the major factor which is affecting the strength is water to cement ratio. That means, suppose if you take 1 kg of cement, so for that particular 1 kg of cement, how much amount of water we can add? Okay, so that is very very important. Okay, depending upon the weight of cement, we are going to add some amount of water quantity. Okay, so that is very very important in terms of strength, in terms of producing strength and durability of the concrete. Okay, so next one, after learning this course, you are going to organize, or else you are going to conduct destructive and non-destructive testing of hardened concrete. Okay, so now I have prepared one hardened concrete like this. Okay, so this, suppose just for example, just assume it as a concrete member. Okay, so now I have prepared this particular member by using concrete material. Okay, so this is completely hardened. Okay, this is not in a wet state, it is completely hardened, right? So now if you want to know about the strength, so what we are going to do, we are going to apply some load on this member, right? So after applying the load, sometimes we are applying this load until it breaks. Okay, sometimes we are going to conduct testing methods until it breaks. Okay, so we are going to apply the load on this particular member until it breaks. Okay, that is called as destructive testing. Okay, so before failure we cannot, before failure sometimes we cannot know the exact strength. Okay, so after breaking the particular member, so just before failure, how much amount of load it can bear, it can take. Okay, so that we are going to calculate. Okay, that is called as destructive. That means here the outline is, if you are going to know about the strength of the concrete after breaking that specimen, or else after damaging that particular structure or member, then that is called as destructive method, or else destructive testing. Okay, and here coming to the non-destructive testing means, here we are not going to damage the member. Without damaging that particular member, we are going to know about the properties of the concrete. That is what your non-destructive testing. Okay, so after learning this course, you are going to conduct this particular two types of tests. Okay, that is destructive testing and non-destructive testing. So why we are conducting this particular destructive and non-destructive testing means, to calculate the compressive strength, tensile strength and flexural strength. Okay, these are the some of the strengths we are going to calculate. Okay, these are just examples. Okay, along with this we are going to learn about different properties also. Okay, by using different test methods. But just for your knowledge, I am just mentioning three types of tests here. Okay, yeah. And next one, compare the quality control methods used for estimating quality of concrete mix. So here, what are the different methods which we are going to use for controlling the quality of the concrete? Okay, how we can control the environment conditions to protect the concrete? Okay, so we will be having different methods. Okay, third particular methods will be used for estimating the quality of the concrete mix. Okay, and next one, here we can develop the most economical and eco-friendly concrete mix based on standard methods. So as we have discussed in the previous slide, mixed design, I have used one term, right, mixed design. So that is what this point, this outcome. So here, after learning this course, you can develop most economical concrete. That means by using less materials, by using different materials in the correct proportions, we can produce ideal concrete. Okay, or else eco-friendly concrete. That means it is not going to cause. Sometimes every time we cannot prepare eco-friendly concrete, right? We need to consider some strength properties also. But sometimes we are going to produce eco-friendly concrete. That means it is not, that particular concrete is not going to cause environment friendly concrete. So if you know about this particular mix design, then we can produce this particular economical mix, economical concrete. Okay, and next one, we are going to examine special and new generation concretes. Okay, so after learning this course, you are going to examine, or else you are going to do research on this particular special concretes, how we can produce the special concretes depending upon the special requirements. Okay, so depending upon, suppose if you have more temperature in the environment, so if you want to resist that particular temperature, how we can change the composition of concrete. Okay, so like that, to resist or else to overcome those particular problems, we are going to produce different special concretes to satisfy special requirements. Okay, or else industry needs. Sometimes you see in the latest scenario, everyone is using wooden material or else any other panels which are made up of the different composite materials. If you do your card, your cabins in the office room or else in your home, okay, interior decorations, everything will be done with the wooden material only, right, nowadays. So why that is happening now? So that is the current trend, right? So everything, if you take TV panels or else any cupboards, everything will be made up of with the some composite material or else some wooden materials, right, or else some plastic materials, fiber materials. So why it has come into the application of construction? Because that is what we need. We need good appearance, we need good interior. Earlier in olden days, what they have used to do, they have used only the concrete material, only walls, right, only the concrete material, right? So now what we are doing, we are applying some casing, we are going to apply some panels on the wall surface. That is our requirement. Okay, so here the money is not a major problem. We can spend money, but what I need is, I need good appearance. When you enter the room, it should look good. Okay, for that I can spend any amount of money. So depending upon the industry needs or else person future needs, we are going to use different types. So you can class, you can start the next session in the same link. Okay, yeah. So now I am ending this session. You can rejoin this link. Okay, thank you. Bye.